And you guys have been hearing from the best of the best. And so you know the issues, you know the policies. So I'm not going to talk to you today about policy. I want to talk to you today about you. About you, because what you're hearing is amazing, behind the scenes, from the best of the best of the best. And the question that you have to ask yourself now is, what am I going to do with all this incredible information? What am I going to take away from this amazing experience of being here at Turning Point, right? And I was thinking about it last night. What is it that you guys run away with after this experience? And if I were in those seats with you guys, what would I want someone to talk to me about today? And it hit me. There's really three kinds of people and three kinds of takeaways, right? So in life, and this is beyond politics too, there are three kinds of people. There are critics, there are talkers, and there are doers, right? So you have to decide today, after hearing all these amazing speakers and learning all this incredible information, really digging into the policies and the politics of what's going on, if we're going to take our country back, which kind of person are you going to be here today? And I think if you are serious about taking our country back, you're going to go all in, right? I know it's a Sunday morning, but we need some extra coffee, maybe a Celsius or an Alani or some energy drink, right? Somebody's a Celsius fan back there. I heard it. But think about it, honestly. It's like the three types, and all three have valid places. But think about the critics, right? We all know someone who's hypercritical all the time about everything. It's like, oh my God, Becky, look at her foreign policy, right? You knew what I was going to say, but I didn't. They're like, it is so big. She's like a total globalist. Like that's a critic, right? That's a critic. And it's important to be able to criticize in a way that is constructive. But the thing that I will caution you, as we go forward and we fight to take our country back, are we criticizing the person or are we criticizing the policy? And it's important that if you are going to step up and be a critic, know what you have in your arsenal. Know the issue. Don't come at it from a superficial, hey, I heard this somewhere on the news or I read it in a headline and I'm going to criticize you for it. No, you better know your stuff because that makes you a good critic. There are good critics and there are bad critics. And right now, there is no shortage of things on the left to criticize, right? There's not a single thing that I can say is truly positive, I mean, other than Joe Biden's COVID result. But, of course, we pray that he'll rebound very quickly. That's what Americans do. We never want to see ill will towards anyone, ever. We always come together as Americans. And so when you're sitting there criticizing a policy, make sure you're criticizing the policy, not the person, because it makes us stronger. It makes us stronger as a movement to take our country back, right? And then you have your talkers, right? Your talkers, they have every idea under the sun. Every idea they love to talk about. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that. And I think every politician, in some form or fashion, they're talkers. They paint this vision. They have this grand plan. But do they execute it? Do they get it done? I think every single one of us in this room, we are here today because we are sick and tired of do-nothing politicians, right? And so they talk, and they talk, and they talk, and they criticize. But do they get something done? And you, as an activist, you, as someone who wants to take our country back, what are you doing to take it back? Are you criticizing? Are you talking? Or are you doing the really hard thing? Doing. The world has very few doers, right? If you had to really sit back and think about it, think about great leaders who have really been the doer category. We're a few months out from a pivotal moment, a turning point in our country. And while it has been really important to criticize in a productive way, to expose the hypocrisy of the left and the limousine liberals, right? While it has been very important to do that, it is also important that we've had some talkers to talk about what we are going to do when we take our country back, how we are going to take our country back. These are the things that talkers do. But at the end of the day, the doers, it's you guys. You guys are the doers who are going to be the key to saving America. And I say that because it's the doors, it's the phone calls, it's the getting your friends and your neighbors and your family and everybody in your life involved and engaged. You're doing the inconvenient thing of being here today. It's a beautiful weekend. You could be at the beach. You could be somewhere out with friends or family. If you're really a patriot, you got your friends and family here with you. But you're here. You're here on a beautiful day, indoors, listening to speeches about how you can become a doer. And that's the inconvenient thing that's going to make you successful. Because if success was based on convenience, everybody would be successful, right? And so you think about this. How am I going to take this time here and turn it into an actual, tangible moment where I can help take the country back? Are you just going to go home and post a bunch of pictures on social media and be like, yep, I did this? Does that move the needle? No. You guys have the power to change our country in so many ways. But it's by doing, by not just attending a meeting, but by getting up and going and volunteering, going and helping campaigns, going and educating people on the policies. It's that's going to make the difference. And I tell you that because I know firsthand how someone who is motivated to be a doer can make a difference. When I was in my final semester at college, I found out that my family, we were losing our small cattle ranch. And it was because of a big government program that we had nothing to do with. We had never heard about it. We had never been asked about it. And next thing you know, we've got 23 days to evict. And I'm throwing everything that we own into horse trailers. And it was the most horrific time in my life, where all of a sudden you find yourself sleeping in a La Quinta on the side of the highway for the first night. And then you find yourself in an extended stay motel, homeless, for months. And I remember during that time getting angry, being terribly sad, of course, but being angry. And I started Googling, what is this thing? How is this happening? What happened? I was talking to anybody who would listen, and I started to criticize. I criticized. I said, dang you, government. Oh my gosh, I can't believe you did this. Who are those politicians in Washington who allowed this to happen? What is going on? I was mad. And then I started talking about it. I started talking to my friends, telling them what had happened. And then that's when I realized I had to do something. I could have very easily gone on with my life, just cut my losses and said, you know what, it happened and it's time to move on. Instead, I got angry. I dug into the issue. I started talking to people about it, and then I decided I had to do something about it. So I packed up my car, and I moved across country. Quite literally, I packed up my car, my Nissan Maxima. It was a stick shift, and it was beat up. It had been in so many car accidents, you can't even imagine. And it had clothes hanging out the back of the trunk, and it had fishing rods out the back because I was president of the Bass Fishing Club in college. Super cool, I know. Yes. And I rolled down into Florida, and I joined the campaign for a guy who had been told that he was never, ever, ever going to win. But I had in the back of my mind that if I just every day did something to move the needle, talk to people, encourage them, educate them, that I would be able to make a difference. And when Election Day came, 829 votes later, we won. We won.